Hi guys, welcome back to This Is Our Game podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Nicole.
How are you, Nicole? How was your weekend?
I'm good. My weekend was pretty good. On Saturday I went to the Liverpool-Southampton game.
Oh yeah.
At Anfield, so it was a really good game. We won 4-0. What's not to love about that, you know?
Someone almost got a hat-trick, didn't they?
Yeah, Jota. He got 2 goals in the first half, and then obviously all the fans just wanted him to get a third, hat-trick. But unfortunately not. And Salah didn't even get a goal either.
I was going to say, I bet he was upset.
I mean, he is like Premier League's top scorer at the moment, and he's there by quite a few goals. I think he's 4 goals ahead of everyone. But he's desperate for goals, and you could see second half, any time he picked up the ball, he just wanted to score. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good actually. On Saturday, I babysat my cousin's puppy, lovely little red fox lab.
What's his name?
Oscar. Oh, he's so cute. He just wanted to sleep everywhere. And then Sunday, I actually played football myself.
Score? What was the score?
We won 4-2.
Nice.
It was a hard game, to be fair, because they equalised 2-2, and then obviously we scored twice, but it was a challenging game.
So you were 2-0 up?
Yeah.
And
yes.
Well, thank God you got the win.
My manager was going crazy when they went 2-2.
Was it 2-2 at half time?
2-1 at half time, and they scored pretty much straight away as well from the second half kickoff.
Are they near you in the league?
Yeah, we're both roughly mid-table, but we've gone above them now.
Oh,
Thank
good.
God.
Good win then.
Yes. Anyway, enough about us. Today we are going to be talking about the run-up to the Women's Euro, which is happening in the summer of 2022. We've also spoken to Helen Hardy, who is co-founder of Foundy, which is a business that makes football shirts for women's football, the printing and the design specifically for women. And we've also spoken to Eve Ralph, who is co-founder of HerGameTo, which is a newly founded campaign which speaks about the sexism in football. So, this is what Helen Hardy had to say.
So first of all, can you tell us a bit about the business and when it began?
Yeah, cool. So my name's Helen and I founded Foundy's in 2020, but actually it was a long time coming to get to the launch part. So I'm a massive football shirt collector. I've been collecting football shirts since I was a little girl. Have in the region of 150 football shirts. I don't actually know what the exact number is. And in about 2019, around the World Cup time, women started getting football shirts made for specifically them. So in the World Cup, the Lionesses had that amazing away shirt with the roses in it, and they had a home shirt made just for them. And previously they hadn't. Previously they just used the men's kits. So I thought it was a really cool concept, and I really wanted to get hold of more football shirts. I also was obsessed with the NWSL, and getting hold of NWSL shirts was like selling your soul to the devil. You had to like find these websites and go behind paywalls, and it was like $300 for a shirt. So I was like, this is crazy. And then obviously being a women's football fan, I loved the WSL. And so I noticed with the WSL, they had their own type of shirt. So although it would be a Chelsea shirt, they had their own patches on the arms, and they had their own lettering on the backs for their names. And so I was like, they're different. I wonder where you can get them. What I quickly realized was I can access any men's shirt that you're looking for, whether it's some small Brazilian team or whether it's 2001 England away shirt for the men's team. I can find you it, and I can access it, and I could probably get it delivered to your house in the next 48 hours, easy. But women's football was so inaccessible. So nobody in the world sold WSL shirts. Nobody in the world outside of America sold NWSL shirts. You couldn't get a Lionesses shirt with Lucy Bronze on the back for love nor money. So I launched Foundy's, which is a little bit of a nod and a wink to Julie Foundy, who is a legendary American player who played in the 1999 Women's World Cup final. And we launched in December 2020 after getting the rights to sell WSL lettering, which took ages. It took ages to get the rights, but we managed to get it over the line. We're coming up to our 1 year anniversary now, so we're about 3 weeks away from our 1 year anniversary, and we have sold to 35 countries. We are a full-time business now. I left my job to do this full time. There's a few of us in the team. We print here from our office in Manchester, and it's awesome, and I'm loving every minute of it.
So since speaking to Helen, I think it should be around the 1 year anniversary by now of Foundy's, because it was about 2-3 weeks ago. So yeah, it should be around the 1 year anniversary of Foundy's. What did you think of Helen's interview?
I think, from my perspective, I think it was really quite cool that there's finally somewhere that young girls and even like older people can go and get kits designed specifically for them. Sorry, designed specifically for them, because I'm not sure about you, but when I was growing up, my team, I support QPR, so I was getting men's kits, I was getting little kits, I was getting men's kits, smalls, that drench you to your knees, and now they've got somewhere that they can go and get it themselves.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, when we were younger, we didn't have as much access to women's football generally, so the fact now that women's football is a lot bigger than when we were young, and people are able to get kits just as easy as
and it's not just for the fans. Having this printing done professionally, having it done specifically for them, it doesn't just increase the fans, but it boosts the game altogether, because it just creates so much more popularity, and people saying, you know what, we can actually be part of this now. It's not like the men's seconds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And don't you find it how cool that she's actually got like the full-on printing from, like, she got permission from the WSL, and that she can actually print it now, and she has no competition. I know. She's got nothing to worry about. Obviously, eventually there probably will be some competition come out in the market, but right now she's the only one in the world that does it.
And that makes it so much more important, because that is where people are going to go.
Yeah. And she did this from COVID pretty much, and that's how...
It's amazing what 1 year of being inside can really do to someone. That's changed her whole life.
Yeah, I wish I was that, productive in COVID. I was just outside walking.
Yeah, well, I was in bed, so...
More than what you... Well, we did have a bit of a heat wave, so I would have thought you were a bit more out of bed than...
I had a lot of work to do. Anyway, it's great that it's kind of made it completely separate from the men's game as well. So I think she said that obviously the Lionesses got their new away kit in 2018 with the roses behind it. And that's something that the men doesn't have. It's something that they have all to themselves. And that's obviously grown as well, because, again, we didn't have that.
I just think what Helen's doing is amazing, and it's definitely helping the women's game massively. Just, because men's kit you can get so easy.
You just go down to Sports Direct. But you couldn't go down to Sports Direct and get the England ladies shirt.
No. Oh, well, if you even could, that would be it. It wouldn't be any of, the women's kits, you couldn't probably get a United women's kit.
Yeah. And I'm going to say a team, you wouldn't ever get a Louis kit. And I know they're not in the WSL.
Yeah.
However, they're obviously one of the only teams that don't have a big men's supporting team. It was a female team first.
Yeah.
And obviously you wouldn't get them in Sports Direct because they weren't a men's club first, even if they were in the WSL.
And Helen, she's actually printing those shirts. Yeah, she actually is. She's doing all women's shirt. She does most most of teams that you can think of. She does them.
She's definitely changing the way women's football is being presented.
And she does over in America as well. All those women's kits as well, because obviously women's football over there is bigger than the men's.
Yeah.
Which it would be amazing if it was here, but
being very diverse, not just focusing on the WSL, but kind of football all over. She's doing international shirts as well, isn't she?
Yeah, all completely. And she said that for when it's the Euros, it's going to be a massive time for the business. The sales generally do go up around when there is summer competitions,
as expected.
Yeah, as expected. But she's expecting, it's only been a year since she started, so this is going to be the first big major competition since she opened up her business. So
fair play to her. I mean, she's doing really well.
Yeah, credit to her. Keep it up, Helen.
Euros are coming around this summer, and personally, I can't wait.
Yes, same. After the delay, obviously, because they were meant to be last year, I'm so glad they're coming back now.
I think I spent around like £150 on tickets overall. I'm going.
Do you know what games you're going?
I'm going to majority of the England games. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going everywhere. I'm thinking of going down to Southampton at some point, going up to London, everywhere. Where are you going?
I didn't. You did the pre-sale tickets, right? Yeah. So I didn't manage to buy any pre-sale tickets, but I did put my request games in a ballot recently, and it was only actually a couple of days ago I found out what games I got. I managed to get the England versus Australia at Old Trafford, early July, I think. Yeah. And then I got the Germany versus Spain at Brentford Community Stadium.
Germany, Spain. Why are you going there?
Oh, because I'm half Spanish, so, I've got to support the Spaniards.
But overall, you're supporting
England, just because I feel like England's got a better chance, so...
Got a better chance, but obviously Germany, Netherlands, they're all in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They've got a better chance over Spain. That's why I'm going more for England. I'm English, because if I've got to choose between England and Spain, I've got to go for... the country I live in,
Of course.
Yeah, can't, and especially when it's in the Euros are going to be here, right?
How do you think it's going to go? Do you think England are going to...
I think we can definitely get to the semis, at least.
We did that last time, and then we ended up coming fourth.
It's just because we have been good recently, to be fair, in the recent competitions. I think we've won 5 out of 5 games.
Yeah, we have, but we have been playing the easier
Yeah, we
teams.
have been playing like Northern Ireland.
We haven't been playing the Netherlands. We haven't been playing
that's really
Germany,
true.
Spain.
Yeah, because what was it in the She Believes Cup? We didn't do that great, did we? The last She Believes Cup?
Third?
We won the time before that, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So compared to what we've been like, you'd expect more, really, but I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to tell until like England maybe start playing a bit of some games that are slightly better than like Northern Ireland, slightly harder.
I agree. I do. I think we're going to give them a good run for our money if we have all our players back. Of course, Wembley's got to be the end location, though.
Of course it does. They haven't sold any tickets for the semis or final because I think they're releasing them a bit closer to the time.
Are they?
Yeah, because when I was doing the ballot, I tried to get tickets.
I think they'll sell out quite fast.
No. Well, that gives us a better chance, though, having it at Wembley, just for England's sake.
Having your home pitch.
And the motivation for players to get to Wembley. Because they only played their first competitive game at Wembley here against Northern Ireland a few weeks ago. So, like, a lot of players actually haven't...
It's all been friendlies, hasn't it?
So a lot of the players haven't actually played at Wembley, so their motivation to get to the final will probably be bigger than ever.
And imagine that achievement. Imagine them being, I've done that. I've played Wembley in the final in the Euros, and we won.
Fingers crossed. Around 6 months ago, a campaign was introduced to combat the sexism within football. The campaign's called the HerGameTo campaign, and I spoke to one of the co-founders, Eve Ralph, to find out a little bit more about the campaign and the reasons behind the movement. So can you tell us about your campaign and what made you guys start it out?
So HerGameTo was a campaign set up by 12 female football fans. Initially, we wanted to raise awareness for the sexism that goes on in person, online, in pubs, at the games. So we created a campaign video where we all held up a sign of something that we've had said to us, whether that be online or in person. And that was how it started, and we didn't think it would get to as big as it had. We released this video on FA Cup final day and it blew up. I think it's been seen by nearly 2 million people now. And as soon as that video went live, we just had so much support coming in, whether it be professional football clubs, females who've experienced it, coaches, dads of females who wanted to get behind us, brothers. Like, this campaign is for everyone. It's not an anti-men campaign at all. We're just trying to raise awareness to the sexism. So after we've done that, we then have kind of changed our pathway a little bit. So now we are working with professional clubs to
have a platform for people to be able to report abuse. We want to try and get more women and girls into the game, so making it more accessible, trying to find out what the barriers are there so we can help break them down and get them to go to the games, and also working with grassroots teams as well, to try and get more girls into the game that way as well. So it started off, the founder of the campaign, Kaz, she got in touch with all of us. She received quite a torrent of abuse in lockdown. I think we all noticed that we kind of got a little bit more when people were locked away in their houses, were able to hide behind their screens. And I think she just thought, why are we letting this happen? Like, we just brush it off, and it is just cast aside as banter. But having spoke to lots of women, some have heard some things that have stopped them from wanting to go to the game again, and it does. I think in this day and age, we really need to put a stop to it, and we can have banter, that's okay, but there's a line, and some of the stories that have come out are really nasty, so that's not okay. So it's being able to stop the stuff that's preventing these people going back to the football, and then just making it a more inclusive, happy environment. Clubs are working with us in different capacities. We appreciate that a lot of the lower down clubs can offer more. I believe there's less hoops to jump through for them, especially with advertising rights and things, sponsorship, things like that. But the clubs have been amazing. We've had Bristol Rovers, which pains me to say as a Bristol City fan, but they have been brilliant. And the community trust there have donated their sponsor for the women's team. So we have a HerGameTo sponsor on the front of the women's shirt, which is amazing. Exeter, Newport and Rovers, they've all got HerGameTo on the advertising boards. Peterborough have got it on the big screens, and then all the clubs have got posters up around their ground and in the toilet, with somewhere where you can report the abuse. So I went to Northampton a couple of weeks ago, and it was really cool to see it on the back of the toilet door. So yeah, lots of things going on at these clubs. One of the first things we did was conduct a survey, just to see if this was happening nationwide, and it wasn't just a small minority of people. So that was useful to then be able to prove that, yeah, there is an issue. So we've done a couple of surveys, actually. We conducted one, and then there's one still open, actually, with the Scottish Football Supporters Association. So I was really keen to branch up there as well, and acknowledge that it's not just something that happens in this part of the country. So once we've done that, we are able to release social posts with the stats on it, which I think is really important, and also being able to do some case studies with some of the fans that have received quite horrible things. We've also done a few bits for press, so we've featured on Sky Sports News, on Sky as well, Channel 5, and then local BBC news, which I think that's all important as well, because you're reaching different demographics there. It's not everyone's on Twitter, so yeah, being able to get on the news channels, that was amazing. But we're also, I'm really keen on highlighting the positives about being a football fan. Obviously, you do get these nasty things, but it's not all the time, and it's not enough to put me off. So we have started doing a project which showcases female fans and people working in the industry. So it just says what team do you support, what's your favourite memory of a game that you went to, who's your favourite player. So just not mentioning anything bad there, because it isn't all horrible, and we want to help empower people and get them in the nice way, rather than trying to stop the sexism that goes on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I really took a lot, Nicole, from your interview with Eve. It's mad to think, as a player, as a fan, that this still happens and it's still around. Have you had any personal experiences with this type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I have, and I can imagine you have. I've been watching football for pretty much all my life. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I've been to a lot of men's games. I play football as well, so just having men at the game as well. Like, I'm not trying to say men are the ones that are sexist, but if we're talking on the bigger picture, it tends to be men that do make
Saying
these
that we're not
sexist
good
comments.
enough, that we
Exactly.
don't know the game, yeah.
So personally, like, I've had many comments said to me just going to watch watch football games, saying like, why are you here? You don't know the game. Like, it's not even just watching the games. I work at West Ham as a supporter liaison officer, and even just representing the club, working at the club, which you don't even have to support football to work there. Obviously, I've had many people, mainly men, walk past, catcalling, making comments to me, just on how I look, wouldn't understand football.
You're literally there working.
I'm working, yeah.
And it's harassment. You're being harassed for something so petty that...
I'm just stood there. I'm not trying to interact with, like, I'm not provoking anything. I'm just doing my job. It's just crazy how I just, obviously it's something we've been used to generally as females.
But it's something that we shouldn't have to get used to. It shouldn't be happening. Like, I go and watch football as well, and I go with my dad, I go with like my boyfriends, and I'm not saying it's them, and I'm not saying it's just men, because obviously women say, why do you support football too? But it is them saying, do you even know like half of the players? Well, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm not here to go sit out in the cold for no reason.
I think a lot of men, like, especially if you come with your dad, your brother, who, like, any male,
they've just dragged you along.
Any male, they think, oh yeah, you're just there with them. You're just there to have a good time. Like, you're not there to like follow the game or even like follow your own team or just support like a certain player. You're just there to just have a nice like Saturday afternoon out or something like that. It's just
it kind of makes you speechless, doesn't it?
It winds me up.
It's
like,
just,
proper winds me up.
It's a sport. Anyone can do it. And for some reason, men think it's just them. But that is also why this campaign is
and this is
so
why we
amazing,
need campaign,
because they've only been around for 6 months, and look where they've come. It started off with the 12 girls making signs.
Yeah,
of everything.
they only did that video just as a video, just to sort of say, look, there is sexism. Like, look at these comments. All those things that they had written on their piece of paper. They're just comments that they've heard. With it, because they're all football fans, those 12 people, those 12 females that started it out. And then they thought, it blew up on Twitter, so they thought, this is something that, it was like their sign to just start this all off.
Think about it, it just takes something like that, just one little video, to make people realise that's happened to me too.
Yeah.
And
this is not
6
normal.
months, look how far they've come.
This is not normal, exactly. It shouldn't be the norm.
No.
And a lot of people think it is the norm, so it should stay the norm. But
why do we accept it?
Yeah, we shouldn't. And this is why, I'm credit to Eve and all of the other 12 that started that video, because look, I think all 12 of them are still involved to some extent.
Yeah, because they do have other jobs. It shouldn't be...
Yeah.
It shouldn't be as big where it should take over someone's whole life, but it's at that stage where it does.
Yeah.
But obviously they have other jobs that they need to do.
Eve said, she said that she's not doing it full time because, she can't at the minute because it is very early on. Like, they're only 6 months in, and they do have to register more as a business so they can actually start earning money. They need to get money back, obviously, to develop the campaign and make it bigger. They did say recently, how they're getting partnerships with more and more clubs, mainly women's clubs at the minute.
They've just got QPR, they've got Reading, they've got Millwall. They are trying to get one for the Premier League, but obviously different, sponsorship deals and that they have to go through, so it is harder for them because they are so new. But
they have got a lot of the women's football clubs at the minute. They are trying to reach WSL level, so I think that's their target at the minute. and to reach probably more grassroots clubs, because I think they have got a lot, but obviously they're just trying to get bigger.
Yeah. These girls, well, women, need to keep going because what they're doing is really amazing.
Can't wait to see where it's at next year. So another huge development in the women's football game is the WSL deal this year.
Yes.
This season's that Sky Sports have brought in, and BBC, the BBC as well.
Yep.
So now that we can actually access women's football on Sky Sports and the BBC.
And it's not just on the FA player, we can actually watch it on TV.
Yeah, live. I didn't, well, there's always developments happening in women's football now because it is getting bigger and bigger each year.
But this is a step I think nothing can really compare to. Not at the moment, anyway.
Yeah. Because it's worth it's a lot of money now that they've put into it. And from what Helen was saying, she does co-commentary at United women's games. And she said just from what she's noticed, big camera sets coming in, the fans seeing that, it makes it feel more real and more big. Just imagine seeing all the big camera crew coming through and you just think, this is not just a little game anymore. This is not just for the minority. This is getting bigger and bigger.
And it actually helps the players as well because it ups their performance. Yeah. Because imagine seeing them cameras, even the Sky ones that follow them around. Imagine seeing them and in their minds are right, I'm now playing in front of not just the stadium, but every single person that's watching at home, however many people that will be. And it's kind of I've got to play well. I want to prove myself. The men have to prove themselves. It's now becoming a more similar game because, they've always had comparisons and something that shouldn't be in sport, but obviously always is. And that's why campaigns like Eve's is around. But it's now the same sport, the same.
It's bringing up the level to make, obviously, I don't think women's football is never going to be as big or as equal men's football, especially in the UK. It's just since the ban, I think we've had such a step back that we've just had to climb up so much. So
long way, yeah.
It will never be equal, I don't think personally, but it is bringing it a lot closer just by having these deals in place.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed and maybe learnt something from today's podcast. I know over the past couple of weeks we've had a blast talking to Helen and Eve.
Yes, please go and support Helen and her business Foundies. Go and buy yourself a kit this summer with the Euros coming up. And please go and support the HerGameTo campaign. It's only growing and they need all the support they can get.
Guys, let's keep pushing and growing the women's game. Thanks for listening and we'll talk to you next week.
Goodbye.
See you later.